All right, day two. Happy Wednesday, Wheel of Doom Wednesday. Too bad we don't have a Wheel of Doom to spin. Hopefully you guys got some help from that video yesterday. Hopefully the scores were good. I heard from 3 or 4 people saying that their kids did very well. Or that the video was helpful, which is the point, so that's great. Same deal as yesterday. If you're watching this but you have not done day 2 of the Pitt County packet, stop the video, pause it, go do those 12 questions, and then come back and go over them as I go over them so you can see your score. And look, tell your parents or whoever, send me a message after you finish going over these questions. Let me know how many you got right. If you missed some, let me know which ones they were, because I want to see kind of where we're at compared to where we were yesterday. Last but not least, I want to get some help with these videos. So if you are interested in Zooming with me and helping me go over these questions, send me a message. Tell me that you're interested in being a part of the video. You would have to have a camera on your tablet or computer or whatever. You might not even have to have a camera. You can just use your voice, your audio if you have a microphone. But if you want to be a part of the video, send me the message. And depending how many people respond or are interested, I can maybe get 1 a video or 2 a video. Just let me know, because doing this by myself is just kind of boring. I'm going crazy. All right, so I did pretty good yesterday with this screen share stuff. So let me pull up the packet. All right, here's day 2. Similar questions from yesterday. Obviously they swapped the order a little bit, but there's a really good chance if you did a good job yesterday, you're probably going to do a good job today and tomorrow. I would have liked a little bit more variety in some of these questions, but I'm not going to complain because, again, these are EOG type questions. So if we're looking at number 1, it says, which expression has the same value as 4/10 plus 3/10? Really, I would solve that before I even looked at the answer choices. I would figure out what 4/10 and 3/10 added together would be, which we know would be 7/10, because the denominator is not going to change. We're just adding the numerators. But then I would look at my answer choices and make it a little bit easier by eliminating. I would definitely get rid of C, because that would give me 5/5, which is equal to 1, because that denominator would not change, but people would pick that. They would maybe do 5 plus 5 and get 10 as a denominator, but we know you don't do that. I'd also get rid of D, because those can't be added. The denominators are different. You'd have to do something to be able to do that math. So that leaves me with A and B. And if you looked at A, 6/10 plus 1/10, that's going to give me 7/10, which is the answer. I'd still check B, and that would give me 10/10, which, just like answer choice C, would also be equal to 1. So answer to number 1 would have been A. That one's just like number 6 and, no, I'm sorry, from yesterday. That one's like numbers 7 and 9. So that one, again, make it a little bit easier, get rid of some answer choices. That's not one I'm necessarily worried about. For number 2, it says, what fraction of the circle is shaded? You got to look at your picture, get your denominator from how many total pieces you have. And if you count those, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces shaded, or I'm sorry, 10 pieces total, but then you have 8 of those 10 that are shaded. So if we're looking for 8/10, obviously that's not an answer choice, so we would not panic. We know we could do, really, we'd have 2 options here. If I'm looking for 8/10, I could cross multiply it with the answer choices that have been given, or I could simplify it. I'll show you both ways. If I simplified, I would list all my factors for 8, 1, 2, 4, and 8. Same thing for 10, all my factors would be 1, 2, 5, and 10. Then I'd have to find my greatest common factor, the biggest factor they both have in common, which in this case would be 2. And once I find that GCF, I've got to divide my numerator and my denominator by 2. And if I did 8 divided by 2, that would give me 4. 10 divided by 2 would give me 5, which would give me the answer choice of C. If you didn't want to simplify and you feel more comfortable cross multiplying, you could have taken your 8/10. You could have cross multiplied it with 4/5. 10 times 4, 40. 5 times 8, 40. You get the same answer if you did it that way. So that one really is up to you preference-wise. You may simplify and it might not be an answer choice. So if you simplified it and it's not, then you would have to cross multiply. There's like a 90% chance though, if you simplify, it's going to be an answer choice, at least from the experience I've had in the past. All right, so that's 1 and 2. Number 3 is one of those effort questions that I talked about yesterday. You can't just look at a numerator and say, ooh, that number is bigger than that one, so that's going to be true. You've got to actually do the math. And guys, when you look at it, it's just cross multiplying because you're comparing. And you guys are probably better at multiplying than any class on the hallway, if I had to guess. So if I did A, 4/6 and 4/10, 6 times 4 is 24. 10 times 4 is 40. In this answer choice, it said that 4/10 had to be greater. That's clearly not true. So you could eliminate A. B says 3/6 is greater than 7/8. If you did this math, you can clearly see B is incorrect, not an answer that we would choose. If you look at C, you got 2/3. It's saying 2/3 is less than 4/5. If you do that math, that is correct. We would check D anyways. EOG, effort. It's saying that 1/3 is greater than 1/2. You could look at your numerators and denominators on this one, but we would look at it anyways. Obviously, 1/3 is not greater than 1/2, so you can eliminate that. And that one would leave you with C. Again, that's one where don't miss the easy ones, miss the hard ones. That's one I would expect everybody to get correct. All right, number 4, effort question. Sydney baked a cake that needed 2/6 cup of flour, 3/4 a cup of sugar, 3/8 a cup of milk, and 2/10 a cup of butter. Which ingredient called for the smallest amount? Well, guys, if I'm looking for the smallest amount, that means I'm looking for the least amount. Same deal. I got 4 different ingredients. I would do a chart. I've got flour, sugar, milk, butter. List the fractions right underneath. And look, if your work looks like mine, give yourself a little pat on the back. That's honestly the goal. I'm not worried about getting them right or wrong. I'm worried about the effort. And honestly, if you're doing them this way, there's a good chance you're going to get them right. All right, so if we're looking for the least, we're going to compare these fractions. I will start with flour and sugar. 6 times 3, 18. 4 times 2 is 8. If I'm looking for the least there, flour is definitely the least amount between those two, so I'd get rid of that. All right, then I can cross multiply flour and milk. 6 times 3, 18. 8 times 2, 16. Between flour and milk, flour is the least, so I can get rid of milk. And then that just leaves me with flour and butter. Cross multiply, 6 times 2 is 12. 10 times 2 is 20. Looking at those two, if I'm looking for the least amount, that ingredient would be butter, which is D. You just got to do the math. You can't just look at one and say that number's small, let me choose it. And that took us maybe 2 minutes to do that question. So smallest, least, cross multiply to compare them. You get that one, no problem. All right, number 5, good question. I like this one. Below shows the distance Hannah walked each day. If I've got 4 days, you already know what my picture is going to look like. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I've got 4/5 Monday, 3/4 Tuesday, 2/3 Wednesday, 2/6 Thursday. It says, on which day did Hannah walk less than half of a mile? So guys, I'm comparing these distances to half. You know what half looks like. And if I want to know which one of these is less than half, I'm comparing these fractions. Let me see if I can get a different color in here. So I would take each day, cross multiply them with 1/2. Again, if you're comfortable kind of with your facts, you can look at the numerator and denominator and know which are less than half. But I'll show you anyways. I'm going to go ahead and plug in 1/2 next to all of these. And we're going to see which one of these is less than half. All right, 5 times 1 is 5. 2 times 4 is 8. 4/5 is not less than half. It's gone. All right, going to Tuesday, 4 times 1 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. 3/4 is not less than half. It's gone. Wednesday, 3 times 1 is 3. 2 times 2 is 4. Again, Wednesday's total 2/3 is not less than half, which leaves us with the answer of Thursday, but we would check it anyways. 6 times 1 is 6. 2 times 2 is 4. That would show you that 2/6 is less than half. And what I was saying earlier, you know 3 is less than 6, so 1/2 would be 3/6. 2/6 is clearly less than that. But it doesn't hurt to do the cross multiplying to check it. Whatever. All right, moving on. That was number 5. So now you've got number 6, which is very similar to number 1. The only thing different is it throws in a whole number. Because when you're adding with whole numbers and fractions, there's no special rule. You know it's kind of funky when it comes to subtracting. You can't take fractions unless you have fractions. But if you're just adding whole numbers and fractions, you're really just adding. So it says, which equation represents the fraction 3 8/10, which really is a mixed number. So I know this is what we're looking for. And then we would just solve A, B, C, and D. Now, looking at A, we would know we're not even going to waste our time on it because you've got different denominators. You can't do it. We wouldn't touch A. Now, B, we could add. B says 2 plus 4/5 plus 4/5. Couple different ways you could do this. You could add the fractions, then add the whole number. It doesn't really matter. But if you added these together, you would have 2 and 8/5. You should look at that and instantly know there's something you need to do to that. Mental checklist. Is it improper? Yes, it is. So you know you need to change that to a mixed number. The 2's not going to change. The 2 is fine. We're going to circle that 2 so we don't forget it. And then to change a improper to a mixed, you just have to know that that fraction bar means divided by. So instead of 8/5, you're really looking at that like 8 divided by 5. So you can write out the long division if you need to, or if you know your facts, think about it. How many whole times can 5 go into 8? Okay, 5 can go into 8 one whole time. Because 5 times 1 gets me to 5, I need to get to 8. What's my remainder? It's going to be 3, which becomes my numerator, and my denominator doesn't change. So now, 8/5 has been replaced with 1 3/5. But 1 3/5 is not the answer. I can't forget about this 2. I've got to add this 2 to that whole number, and that is going to be, that's going to be equal to 3 3/5. I'm looking for 3 8/10. So we're close, but B would be incorrect as well. All right, so then I would look at C. It says 2 plus 1 plus 2/5 plus 6/5. Those I can do because it's got like denominators. But this plus 2/5 plus 6/5. I can go ahead and do 2 plus 1 and get 3. And then I can go ahead and do 2/5 plus 6/5 and get 8/5. Here's where you got to kind of get some logic going, because we're looking for 3 and 8/10. The whole number has to be 3. If you look at 8/5, you know you have to change that to a mixed number. And we just changed 8/5, I think it was. We knew that that was equal to 1 and 3/5. Well, if I'm doing 3 plus 1 and 3/5, my whole number is not going to be 3 anymore. It's going to go to 4. So I know if I add up C, that one's going to be too big. Which leaves us with D, 1 plus 2 plus 3/10 plus 4/10 plus 1/10. Whole numbers first, 2 plus 1 is 3. And then if you add those fractions, 3/10 plus 4/10 is 7/10 plus 1/10 is 8/10, which gives you your answer of D. Just because B and C are not in tenths doesn't mean you shouldn't solve them, because maybe what you get, you might have to simplify, or it might be equivalent. The only reason you wouldn't do it is if the denominators weren't the same. So that's why we got rid of A. It doesn't hurt to do B and C just in case, but D, that one very clearly is the answer, because that gives us what we're looking for. That's a really, really good question. I think number 6 was the one yesterday I expected people to miss. Maybe I don't expect people to miss that one as much, but I think that one is I think that's a good question. All right, clear. Man, I'm crushing this thing. All right, moving on to number 7. Whoa, hello. All right, it says Emily made a cake. She divided it into 6 equal pieces. 3 friends each ate 1 piece of the cake. How much cake did they eat? If you are looking at your paper right now and you drew a picture to match this question, give me fist bump. Awesome. If you didn't, draw a picture. I'm a visual person. And half the time, if you have no idea what to do, if you draw what it says, you'll get it every time. All right, made a cake. Can I get like a circle on here, a shape? Ooh, check that out. Sick. All right, cut into 6 equal pieces. 1, 2. All right, let's act like that picture's perfect. I'm not gonna waste too much time on that. All right, 3 friends each ate 1 piece. Sally ate a piece, Susie ate a piece, Sarah ate a piece. Boom. It says what fraction, or I'm sorry, it says how much cake did they eat? Now, you could read this question wrong and still get it right, which I don't really like. But if I'm looking at the fraction that they ate, obviously I would get 3/6, which is not an answer choice. Hopefully I'm not going to have somebody choose B because it looks close. That doesn't mean anything that it looks close. That's when the mental checklist comes back in. Is it improper? No. Can I simplify? Yes. And if you don't want to simplify, you could cross multiply your answer choices. But I'm going to simplify. Get a different color here. Factors for 3 are 1 and 3. Factors for 6 are 1, 2, 3, and 6. Greatest common factor would be 3. And if I divided my numerator and my denominator by those GCFs, 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. That would give me 1/2, which is C. So hopefully we drew a picture on that one. Did you have to? No. But it's helpful. Kind of similar for the next question too. All right. Number 8. It says 10 friends went to a restaurant for lunch. 8 of the friends ordered chicken and the rest of the friends ordered fish. What fraction of the friends ordered fish? Again, if you drew a picture, fist bump for you. Very easy to draw 10 friends. Very easy for you to shade in that picture. So let me get my whiteboard popping here. All right. How did I do that circle? All right, here are my 10 friends. What? Maybe. We're going to split that into tenths as best I can. Yikes. We are going to act like those are perfectly straight and even. 8 of the friends ordered chicken. What is happening? See, I'm trying to get too fancy now. 4, 6. All right, 8 friends ordered chicken, and the rest ordered fish. What fraction ordered fish? Well, you know the denominator will be 10 because that's the total number of pieces I have. If you read it correctly, we're looking for fish. 2 people ordered fish, which would be 2/10. That is not an answer choice. Mental checklist, you would simplify. Factors for 2 are just 1 and 2. Factors for 10 are 1, 2, 5, and 10. That would give us a GCF of 2. And if I divided both of those by my GCF, that would give me 1/5, which would be the answer choice A. Now, again, I always tell you in class, the stuff we do is a lot more challenging than what you're going to see at the end of the year. I think 4/5 should have been an answer choice because somebody's going to shade in 8. They're going to get 8/10. They're not going to see their answer choice. They're going to simplify, and they're going to get 4/5. So to me, they make it hard to miss this question because if you don't see your answer, you obviously made a mistake. You would go back, you would reread it. You'd say, oh, okay, I know what I did wrong. I would have had 4/5 as an answer choice, and I'd be willing to bet the EOG would have 4/5 on an answer choice. So if you got it right the first try, awesome. If you missed it, had to go back and reread, you got lucky because they're going to give you those choices at the end of the year. So read that one carefully. If you wrote out the word fish or put a star, circled, underlined, awesome. Great job. All right, number 9. This is the one yesterday where I told you exactly what I wanted to see. Now look, if you didn't have it yesterday and you don't have it today, you got to listen to me. I don't talk because I like the sound of my voice, guys. If you do this stuff, you will never miss. All right, well, unless you do the wrong math, but you guys are good at math. All right, it says last week, we're on 9. Is that right? Yeah, last week, 186 children toured the museum in groups of up to 4. What is the fewest number of groups needed to tour the museum? Again, logic is important here because groups of is like boxes of and rows of, and a lot of the time that can lead you to think, hey, I need to multiply. But if you look at your answer choices, clearly getting smaller, and if you're thinking about equal groups of 4, that leads you to your division. So you're doing 186 times 4, and I'm trying to figure out the fewest number to get everybody to tour that museum. So let me get my whiteboard. 186 divided by 4. Dangerous monkey swipe bananas. I'm so glad we can do this division now because it took us like 4 weeks, but it was worth it. All right, we know 4 cannot go into 1, but it can go into 18 4 times because 4 times 4 is 16. We do 18 minus 16, that leaves us with 2. I would bring down the 6 and start over. 4 can go into 26 6 times because 4 times 6 is 24. If I did 26 minus 24, that would give me 2. And with nothing to bring down, that would give me 46, remainder 2. So now you have 3 possible answer choices without even looking at the answer choices that they gave us. We know for a fact it could be 46 if we ignore the remainder, 2 if we use the remainder, or 47 if we push up, round up using that remainder to go to the next number. Logically, you know you're going to eliminate 2 because if you do 2 groups with 4 people in each, that's not even close to getting the 186 people that you need. So you could definitely get rid of that one. But then if you look at your answer choices, it actually gave you 2 as an answer choice today, which I don't think it gave you the remainder yesterday, but it also gives you 45. 45 you wouldn't even have to waste your time with. So you know you're either looking at B or C. You're either going to have 46 groups with 4 people in each, or 47 groups with 4 people in each. Guys, all you have to do is do the math. Stack them, multiply. So if I did 46 times 4, 4 times 6 is 24. Carry that 2 over. 4 times 4 is 16 plus 2 is 18. That gives me enough room for 184 people. Well, if I do 46 tours and get 184 of our people in there, that would mean Simon and Angel don't get to go on that tour. Obviously, we wouldn't do that. We would push up, we would run an extra tour, and even though that would give enough room for 188 people, you would rather have more room than not enough. So that is why 47 would be the answer. Look, if you're missing this question, but you have this exact thing of work on there, I'm cool with that. But if you're missing this question and you are not checking with your multiplication, that's an issue, guys. You won't miss it if you're doing the right math and you check it with your multiplying. I think we're good on the long division. I'm hoping everybody's getting that part, because once you get that part, the rest is kind of easy. And remember what I've told you in the past. If it's asking how many full tours would you have, that's always going to be this number. And if the question said how many people would be in the last tour, that's like what's left. It's always going to be that number. So those are important words to look for in those questions. All right, number 10. I don't really like how this one's worded. I'm guessing you probably understood what it was saying. It says, which list contains all the multiples for 4? Obviously, none of those have all the multiples for 4. I think it just should have said which one of these answer choices below only shows multiples of 4. And a lot of people like to pick A on this one because 1 is not a multiple of 4. The first multiple of 4 is going to be 4 because 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. You got to be able to multiply that number by something to get it. You can't multiply 4 times anything to get 1. I want to say on our EOG Friday on Friday, we had one very similar to this one. So if you missed it, I'm hoping it wasn't A, but then it's just you got to just know your facts. So if you're looking at B, 4 times 1 would give you 4, 4 times 2 would give you 8, 4 times 4 would give you 16, 4 times nothing would give you 22. So you can scratch B out of there. If you're looking at C, 4 times 1, 4, 4 times 3, 12, 4 times 5, 20, 4 times nothing is going to give you 27. So that leaves us with D, one answer. We would still check it. 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 4 is 16, 4 times 6 is 24. So D would be your answer on that one. I could see how you could get confused on that with it, like on D, it's skipping 12, it's skipping 20, but these are all multiples of 4. So worded kind of funky, but hopefully that didn't throw you off or cause you to miss it. All right, so number 11 for the longest time was one of our worst questions. I think we might have had that one on our Fantastic Five for close to a month, if not more. And it's really interesting because it's such a simple fix. Like if you just do what the problem says, and this is for all math, I guess, but if you just did what the problem says, you get it right every time. So let me pull up. So I always had a hard time understanding why we struggled with this. Like if it says we have 2 thousands, you know what the number 1,000 looks like. You know what the number 100 looks like. You know what the number 10 looks like. So if I had 2 thousands, you would just write down the number 2 and add 3 zeros. Boom, boom, boom. All right, if it said I had 3,400s, I would just write the number 34 and add 2 zeros. Boom, boom. If it says I have 46 tens, I would write the number 46 and add 1 zero. And then all you got to do is add these together. And I normally don't like adding more than one number at a time, but when you're dealing with all these zeros and single digit numbers, it's not that bad. Zeros are just going to be 0. 6 plus 0 plus 0 is going to be 6. 4 plus 4 plus 0 is going to be 8. And 3 plus 2 is going to give you 5. That's going to give you 5,860. That one used to drive me crazy, and it's gotten so much better. Literally your paper should look exactly like this. Not as worried about that because you guys know what those numbers look like in your head, but honestly, you should have this on your paper. You don't have to, but if you missed it and you don't have this, that's one way. Thank you. All right, last one. I'd be willing to bet this will be the most missed question. It says bright, well, let me just pull it up here. All right, Bryson and his 14 friends each bought a concert ticket for $75. What was the total cost for all of the tickets bought? Now look, total 99% of the time would make you think you're going to add on this one. But look, if you're going 75 plus 75 plus 75 plus 75 plus 75, yes, you can do it that way, but repeated addition, make sure you're multiplying. So look, yesterday, number 11, I'm hoping we learned something from that. Because number 11 yesterday said Karen and her 4 friends, which was really 5 people. So when it says Bryson and his 14 friends, it's not 14 people, it's actually 15 people. So if I pull up the whiteboard, we're going to go 15 times 75. And I'll be honest, it's been a little while since we've done this 2-digit by 2-digit multiplication. So we'll see what you got on this one. But you start in the ones place. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 stays. 2 goes, then go across to the tens. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. All right, so once I've multiplied by the ones place, scratch that out. Now I can multiply, can I just erase that? Now I'm gonna come over here and multiply by the tens place, but in that same order. So 7 times this 5 is gonna give me 35. But before I put any numbers down, I'm jumping down here to the second line, and I've got to put my placeholder. I've got to put my 0, because if I'm starting in the tens place, my first number needs to go down here in the tens place. So 7 times 5 gave me 35. 5 stays, 3 goes. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 3 is 10. Boom. 5 plus 0 is 5. 7 plus 5 is 12. Carry the 1. 1 plus 0 is 1. Bring down the 1. I should have gotten D, $1,125. See, and this is another one where I don't like that they didn't give you a certain answer choice, because you may have done 14 times 75. Whatever, you would have gotten 1,120. I don't like that that wasn't an answer choice, because I bet you people would have picked it. And I bet you the EOG is going to give it to you. But if you did that the first time, didn't see your answer, you would have known, okay, I read something wrong. Let me go back. Oh, Bryson and 14 friends, which would give you 15. So I wish they would have challenged you a little bit more on that one. But overall, those are some good questions. I'm interested to see how we did in number 6. Definitely number 9. 11 and 12 as well, really all of them. So look, as soon as you're done watching this video, have whoever log into the class tag, send me a message of how you did yesterday compared to how you did today. Hopefully we're seeing some sort of growth. Tomorrow, I'm going to have videos for day 3 and 4. That way on Friday, you'll just have 1. So you can either go ahead and knock out 3 and 4, or you can go at your own pace and just watch the videos at your own pace. But I'm going to have 2 separate videos tomorrow, one for day 3, one for day 4. And I want to have some people help me. Now, that means you would have to have the sheet done already. You'd have to get up kind of early to help me film the video. If you have a camera, that's even better. But if you're watching this and you're interested in that, send me a message and we'll get it set up so we can get some help. Same stuff I told you yesterday, guys. Turns out you can AR test. Nobody knows what's going on. Nobody knows the school schedule. But if you can read an AR test, go for it. You can watch people reading books on YouTube and then go AR test on them. That's an option. keep studying those multiplication cards. If you need some help going through some, if you want to Zoom and have me run through some cards, you know I'm more than happy to do it. Most importantly, help out around the house. If you got little brothers or sisters, teach them how to multiply, teach them how to divide, teach them how to add. Do something productive, and just be pleasant to your families, because I'm sure you are driving them insane. All right, guys, thank you for watching, because you know you don't have to do this, so I appreciate you making the effort. Miss you all. Hopefully get to see you soon. I guess I'll see you tomorrow.